The only thing about gun is that at close range, it's less dangerous than a knife. Now, it's important to understand in gun that the slowest bullet will come out at about 900 feet per second. Okay? And the average bullet comes out at about 1,400 feet per second. It's an incredible amount of speed. Actually, it's the speed that will kill you of the force of the bullet coming at you. Because I mentioned this in the gun defense tape. If I had a bullet and I just, in my hand, and I just go, and I bounce it off Danny's head, he's not going to die. Okay? So if he's got the gun and he's pointing it at my head like so, same principle. Now, all he's got to do, pull the trigger, and there's the noise. And to determine, pull the trigger the second I move. Now, you see when he shot? Okay? Put it here. He knows exactly what I'm going to do. Shoot the second I move. I do this. He always misses. He can't. The hand is quicker than the eye. It's back to the fundamentals. Tape 1. He's got the gun at my head. It's important that, okay, well, now believe me, I've faced gun situations before. I've had a gun pointed at my head. It's not fun. Okay? I've had a gun pointing at my ribs. It's not pleasure. Let me tell you, your heart's going to be racing. You'll probably soil your underwear. Right? But it's still important to understand the concepts. He's got the gun at my head this way, as petrified as you may be, because to actually feel the steel at your head, it's a completely different story than doing it in drill training. Unless you can bring yourself to that emotional state of mind in your training every single time, and that's when you get the most out of your training, is to go, okay, fuck, that's a real gun. If he pulls that trigger, I am dead. Okay? So my hands come up slowly. Okay, man, relax. What do you want?
We're going to go back to that, okay?
Okay.
Slowly back.
Okay, man. I'm going to move. Just give me a second. I'm kind of pissing up. And I make my move here. Okay? Now, once I've made my move, there's a few things that you've got to understand in gun defense. Number 1, where you move the gun is important. It's not like a knife, which is here, where I can just do this. Okay? Because look where the gun is pointing now. Right? I've got to make sure that I will not kill an innocent bystander should this guy take his shot once I've done this. Okay? I've got to make sure that if... Helen, come back here a second. I've got to make sure that if... pray tell, my girlfriend was with me or a friend or whatever, and she's got, got the gun at my head here, if I go, whoa, man, boom, I just shot her. Okay? Well, I'm okay. Right? But she's dead. Okay? Or she's got a brand new hole. So I've got to make sure that this doesn't happen. So if the gun is pointing at you and you do grab it, get the barrel pointing either up at the sky, where you'll hit a bird or a plane, or Superman, but or down to the ground. But don't get it pointing forward, or backward, or whatever. Or point it at him. So if I'm talking to him here, and I start to do this, it's okay if I do this. You want to pull the trigger out? So go ahead, pull the trigger, pull it, shoot, come on, shoot. Okay? Now you can get into this. Right? Where now if he wants to shoot, well, he's got a brand new hole. Okay? But the principle is that the barrel should not be pointing at you. And it's a lot more difficult for him to switch hands. Okay? So some of the reactions he's going to have once I've grabbed the gun, okay? Reaction number 1 might be to try to still point it at you and shoot. This is why it's important to either grab the wrist or the gun itself when you do this drill. So once I'm done here, if I've grabbed the wrist, I know he can't turn and point it at me now. Okay? If I've grabbed the gun itself, I know he can't turn and point it at me now. Right? But if I just grab the wrist like I do in a knife fashion, I've done this, boom, there goes my head. He can turn his wrist easy. You don't want to let him do this. Okay? So you grab the wrist or you grab the gun. Make sure the barrel's not pointing at you or any potential bystander or whoever is with you, up at the sky or on the ground, or at the individual himself. Now, if he's got it at your chest, it's exact same principle. Exactly like what we did with knife. Hands come up, whoa. Okay, man, relax. What do you want? Turn over. Here's my move. Turn it upwards, okay, or turn it towards him. Okay, now you see Danny starts to panic. He doesn't want the barrel pointing at him. Okay, now the good thing about the gun is that once you've grabbed it, the fingers towards the trigger, is that once you start to turn it and twist it, you start to break the trigger, the finger. Okay, so the more you do this, the more you play with the finger. Okay, so if you do it quick and hard, you can snap the guy's finger at the same time. Bonus, right? So if he's got me Here, on the side, he's grabbed my shoulder or whatever, he's got the gun at my head, or he jams me in the head with it. Same thing. Where does he have to shoot to kill? You're not answering. Okay, so if right at the temples, I just move here and I smash him in the face with the gun. Sorry, Danny. Okay, now it's pointing elsewhere. Okay, but I clear my body completely away I clear the gun completely away from me. Very important. If he's got it at my throat, if he's got it in your mouth, and this is, I mean, number one, don't let him get it in your mouth. The guy's trying here and he's trying to force it in. Just make your move right off the bat. Just grab it. Say sorry. But if he's managed to get the gun right into your mouth, people feel that, and this happens a lot in movies, where when the person puts the barrel in your mouth, they feel like they have to fellatio the gun. Okay, you don't have to get into that. So it's not like, you don't gotta suck it off or anything. But okay. So what you want to do is, if he puts it in my mouth, I want to keep my mouth as wide open as possible. Huh? Like so. Because the more space I create, the easier it is to slide it out. I don't want to bite down on it. I don't want to wrap my lips around it. I will keep my mouth as wide as possible. And I'll also try to talk to him at the same time. Okay, so if he's going to... It's easier to grab now, because as I shift my head back and grab the gun, I clear. And then I point. Okay? Mouth stays as wide as possible. Barrel does this, easier. Okay? If I wrap around it, I got to do this first. All of this creates opportunity to shoot. Get your minds out of the gutter.